All right, where am I? Oh, I'm up here. Hey, everyone in the chat. Gosh, people are joining slow this evening. Hey, make sure you can give me a thumbs up on if you can hear and see me. Once we verify that, we will get this show on the road. It is being recorded, so just want to make sure we are live and you can hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. So, um, all good, all good. I can hear you and I can hear and see you. Awesome. Okay. Where in the heck is everyone tonight? Dang. Slow start. I hope all the links worked. Something's making me think that maybe the link didn't work. I don't know. Because this is we had over 400 people sign up for this. Anyway, maybe they just don't like me. Anyway, we're going to get started real quick here. Let me make sure I got everything ready. Boom. And I'm going to probably go with this mode right here. So 7 people. Is that what y'all are getting? Out of almost 391 people signed up for this particular one. I've never seen anything like this. Anyway, it is what it is. And we'll get this show on the road. It's 8:02. We'll wait one more minute. Hey, those that are here, where are you from? Let me know in the chat. I am from North Carolina. Hi. I guess I could put it right here. It's working. Sweet. Sanford, not too far away. Okay. Just waiting on a few more people. North Carolina as well. Everyone's from North Carolina. Sweet. Let's get this on the road. Okay. Fort Bragg. Oh, sweet. I was at No Hope Pope for 5 years of my life at Pope Air Force Base, which is, I don't even know if it's Pope Air Force Base anymore. I think it's Pope Field or something. Okay, it is 4 after. We're going to get this started. I've got the slides ready. We're going to go ahead and get started. This will be recorded. If you're watching this by replay, welcome. It's been bad for sending out notifications. So yeah, I didn't even use YouTube for sending out notifications. But anyway, you used Webinar Jam to send it out. Maybe there was an issue there. So let's get started anyway. This is specialized and tailored just for you guys. I'm going to bring my mic in a little bit because you can, and so you guys can hear me better. And we're going to go ahead. So a little bit about me. Most of you probably know a little bit about me, but I'm going to sum up a little bit, and then we'll go into some awesome information here. I was in the United States Air Force at No Hope Pope at Pope Air Force Base, and I was in the 317th Maintenance Air Wing at the time. We had C-130s. While I was there, I applied for a special operations job with JSOX. It's SOL 2. That was special operations, low level, and 2 was nighttime. So we did a lot of special ops. I wasn't a tier 1 operator. Let's don't get it confused, but I flew the airplane and supported them. I was the first webmaster at Nations Bank that then became Bank of America. I was a senior vice president in the STG, Strategic Technology Group at Bank of America. I left there and founded a company called Broadband Avenue, where I built 5 internet data centers and sold that. I became a survival instructor, Krav Maga apprentice instructor, an NRA instructor. I do survival retreat consulting. I am a ham radio operator. I'm a speaker educator. I do 2 podcasts because one is not painful enough. So I do 2, Privacy and Freedom and the Prepping Academy. I'm the author of 4 number 1 best-selling books on Amazon. I've created 2 startup business incubators where we would help people find money, investors, C-suite employees, partnerships. I did 2 of them. 2 pretty large companies came out of that. One is called Lending Tree, and you guys have probably seen at least their commercials. Another one's called Avid Exchange. Let's see. I took a company public called Solar Shore One. I own a company now called Gray Man Protection, which is a privacy and security company. I own a company called Garvin Academy, which is an online education company. I'm the founder of PrepperNet, and I'm the owner of a company that we are just launching called My Solar Oven with my family. And there's the logo for My Solar Oven. I literally announced this to a few people, but all the press releases will go out later this week, actually. So My Solar Oven is a solar oven. As you guys know, I was a former CEO and owner of Sun Ovens International. Departed from that company over 3.5 years ago. Since then, that company has closed its doors, and for months, and I stepped in, and I didn't take over. I started a brand new company, and we're using the same supplier that made this that I outsourced to Sun Ovens to many years ago. So, and now we're bringing it back on the market with me and my family, and there's my family right there. We're all doing it. We all got positions, and we're all doing stuff. Fun, fun, fun. So go buy one today. I created a company called, where's my M? Prepperfinds.com. I don't even know. It lost my M. That's calm. But anyway, prepperfinds.com. Go check it out. It's got great deals every single day, posting the best deals that you can find on Amazon and some of our partners. I will tell you, as you watch this and you're like, wow, I'd like to make some extra money. I do have a referral program for what I'm going to show you at the end, which is the software. This software is unbelievable. If you want to make some extra money, you go to areastudymap.com/affiliate and you can make money by selling this software. I want to pay everyone. So lots of people think they know their area. Do you know your hood? That's the question. Do you know your neighbors, their values, their skills, their resources? Do you know who they voted for? I mean, that says a lot about a person these days. Where's your nearest water source, not counting a faucet or a spigot? Is it a pond? Is it a clean pond? Is there a spring nearby? How about medical training facilities or hospitals, or who in your neighborhood possibly has medical skills? Do you know? Because if someone is passed out on the ground and you can run 3 houses down and get a nurse or call 911, it makes a huge difference. How about food, hardware stores, fuel points? People in your neighborhood have 4 drives. So that could be important one day. I'm just saying. How about radio towers or where the high ground is in case you need to do some communication? You may know this stuff. Like I could ask you this, right? And you would know it. But here's the thing, when stress hits someone, sometimes simple, easy things that are filed in your head, in your database here, sometimes they're hard for you to pull up under stress and tension and everything going on. And sometimes you don't think as clearly as you want to. That's why the military, you train, and you train through the pressure and the stress. So I didn't create this, but The United States Army and the U.S. Intelligence Agency in 1940 created this thing called an area study. And it makes a lot of sense. If you're going to send the military in and would like to know the terrain, the infrastructure, the population, the resources, transportation routes, and threats. Let's say that the military is going into a place in a third world country. It would be very helpful if they knew if there was diesel fuel or there was possibly food storage warehouses out there. That would mean less things that they might possibly need to take in if they knew the terrain and if they knew the threat. So the more intel that they could have when they went into an area, the better off it is for our military personnel. So they came up with this, and everybody sees the OSS. That was what the CIA was actually called before it became before the CIA. It was the OSS. I didn't know that. I reading books. So a military intelligence profile of a geographical area used to plan operations. That's what is called an area study. Makes sense. That area over there, we're going to study it. So when the military goes in, we know what's there, we know the layout, and we know the terrain. Everything that we know, we can then operate better within that environment by knowing what is in that environment. That's an area study. So what is an area study map? If an area study is the research and analysis of a location, then an area study map is the map that displays the analysis, the information, so you can look at it and visually see that. And I got a wonderful demonstration for you here in a minute about that. So an area study map is the visualization or the visual product of what someone created in the area study. It turns information into something visually we can see. And I'm going to show you guys a wonderful chart here in a minute that's going to kind of stress that. So what does it mean to preparedness? I mean, so I was former military, yes, but I didn't do area studies. I didn't even think in these terms, some of these terms. I've read all the books. I don't think the way the military thinks. I just don't. I'm a civilian now, and I don't use the terms the military use. So it's a little different. So what's a prepper or preparedness area study map? Is a tool used to analyze a local area so I can survive and make better decisions for myself and my community. It focuses my preparedness on what I need, what I lack, and what issues could come up. What are the risks for my area? There's no landmines in my area. I've done that in my area study. There's no landmines. Okay, so and the risk is mostly people, okay, that maybe voted different than I did. Possibly, maybe not. So that totally different than what the military puts together and looks at. So what's an area study? What and why do you need it? Here's the why. It increases our survivability. So if I know my area, I know my hood, I know who I can count on, who I can't count on, I know what tools and skills people around me have, that is helpful for me and my family in stressful times and times of, well, I won't say COVID, but anytime there's a natural disaster, I know who to look for, what skills they have. If they have a four-wheel drive truck, maybe we need to pull a tree off a house. Who has chainsaws, who has radios. All that can help the entire community or your group respond and have better. It's better for everyone. I know you guys would absolutely agree with that. Develop realistic expectations of the future. So if you're in a neighborhood, and you don't know anyone that has a chainsaw, you're like, dang, no one has a chainsaw? What are we going to do if the trees fall down? How are we going to get out of the neighborhood? And you're like, okay, that's going to be an issue. Wait, there's no one has a pool. Where's the extra water? And once you know this stuff, and then you can plan for it. So then if you know that no one has a chainsaw, you might want to have the chainsaw in the neighborhood so you can get out in case there's an emergency going on. Help us anticipate future events. So I'm going to mention several times tonight about a book series that called 1 Second After. It's a 3-book trilogy series, and Wim Fortune wrote it. Most everyone has read that. If you've read that, just give me an amen or something in the chat. If you haven't, you need to read that series because it's really good. I would say that 40% of all preppers or more have read that, if not more. But I'm going to refer to that a little bit. You don't really need to know the series as I'm going to refer to it, but it kind of give you a good idea. So this information, I was in the Smithsonian in let me think of the date. 1996. I was standing in the Smithsonian, and this was a wall. It is this in the actual wall, but this is the data that was on the wall. And you're like, what is this? Okay, I can see dates 1812. Is that October 19th? Then it says 37.6. I don't know what that is. Could be temperatures. Then there's 100,000. There's all these numbers. Then there's coordinates. Then there's time. Then I don't know what this information was. And I was looking at this wall trying to figure it out. And this older gentleman came up beside me because I was young then. And he goes, you know what that is? And I said, no. And he goes, well, look to the left. And so to the left of me was a lithograph print of this. I'm like, okay. He said, so that wall of all them numbers had been put on this map, this image with all the numbers built this image. And I'm like, okay, so this is Napoleon's march to Moscow. As you can see right over here, the big tan where it starts there, that represents right over here 100,000 people is when he started his army with 100,000 people. And he marched, and as you see here, he passes timelines, he passes temperature, it shows you the direction he's going. All that information was put on this map. As you can see, by the time he got to Moscow, he lost, way over half of his people just due to cold weather. and he did flank some off here. That's what this was, a supply flank. And he lost half it. And then he was in Moscow, turned around and look. He left Moscow just about with the same amount of people he got there with. And then you can see as he was going through and how the cold weather, and like right here, they passed this little river here. And look how many people, like almost half the people died there. And right here, half the people died there because they couldn't survive going through the cold weather. And look, the little black line right over here to the far left now, below the big that's how many people he ended up with in when he was finished. So that whole map takes all the data, this information, and makes it so we can visually see, man, no one died from the actual war. They died from going there and coming back. And it's like crazy. This was created in 1869. And in this, you can see the army size, geographical location, the direction of movement, the temperature, the time and date, and the distance traveled, all in that. And that was what all the numbers, if I showed you on the wall and try to explain it to you, it wouldn't make any sense. But this kind of shows you visually the data that actually happened. And that's what we want to do with our community. We want to see visually what's going on. And I noticed. So I'm going to tell you my journey of doing this. I've been doing this. I did not know this was called an area study map. I did not know the military taught this. I didn't know the military and the CIA came up with this. I knew that I had a survival group, and I created my survival group right after Y2K. I was the webmaster at Bank of America. You can imagine, Y2K was big on my mind at the time. So we my survival group started in Y2K. We're still together. We are still together. Oldest known survival group that we know of in the United States. There could be older ones, but oldest ones we know of. And that's me and Charlie Hogwood and uh, whatever the other guy's name is. Anyway, so we secured a retreat in 2002. In 2006, we were like, hey guys, we need to know what is around our retreat. We called it a resource and risk map. We didn't, that's what we called it. And it's for our retreat. We want to know who is our neighbors, what resources, what skills they had. How far do we draw a perimeter around our property? And all this stuff was just kind of going through our mind. So we created this in 2006. So then we did that for our area. So then in 2011, I wanted to take it to another level. I became the homeowners association president for a community in Charlotte, North Carolina. We had 123 homes, and I'm like, how can I find out information about everyone in my community? So I had a 6x6. It's actually almost a 7x7. They called it 6x6 because the map was 6, but I guess, yeah. So a 6x6 map, and I put it on my wall in my bonus room, and it had all the houses just of my neighborhood. And it was printed out on a piece of paper. And I told everyone, and every communication I had with once I was elected homeowner and everybody approved me, that's a sham. Just two of my friends was like, hey, we'll pray. I'm like, okay. And I became president. Every time I had communication, I told everybody, hey, friend me on Facebook, friend me on Facebook. And so literally like 90% of the people friended me on Facebook. And you wouldn't believe the information I could get. And I tell people, and I'm not joking, I could tell when, someone in their family bought a gun, when their kids were going to camp, where they were going to camp. I could tell when they were fighting. I could tell when they're on vacation. The information I received from that was so overwhelming. And so I would mark these things on the map. I would literally, every home, I had their name, their kids, all the information. I mean, the way they voted, who they gave money to, if they have a hand radio operator license, all that stuff. I did. And it was like, I dare not let anybody in my bonus room in the old house. And then it became such a pain in the honey. Oh, the Johnsons are moving. Okay, let me take some white out. And I'd mark all over that because new families moving in, or things just everything happened. So I had white out all over this map. I had sticky notes where I needed to update and white out stuff. It was a pain in the honey. I'm marking everything I know about all these things. Is it spying? No, it's not. I don't think it is. Well, it's for my safety. Okay. And then in 2017, we moved, and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to have to start this all over. But thank goodness my neighborhood now is not like 100 and some homes. It's, at all. No homeowner association like that. And I was like, I just can't do that again. That's a lot of work. So I folded up that little map. I still have it. I've took photos of it and shared it sometimes in the past, but I've decided not to share that anymore just for the fact that you could zoom in. I should have made it blurry, which I did later on in times I showed it, so you couldn't see people's information. But yeah, that was a pain. That's hard to manage too, a 6x6 map. Hang on, guys, let me look. And you fold it out on the hood of your car. That would be impossible. So in 2017, I started using Google Earth, and it wasn't good. I never felt good about it because I'm putting information about my neighbors on Google Earth. It just didn't feel, because first of all, I don't trust Google. for anything. And then I'm putting things I think that's important to me about my neighbors. And they're a huge security problem. I didn't feel good about that and I stopped it. So then I created, and that is 2022. My head's right up there is over. I created a thing for my group only called the Neighborhood Watch software. And you can see these are some of the papers that I actually paid programmers to help me create. And it expand. These are some of the first documents that you could put pins and label people and label, all a bunch of information. And I created this again in 2022, and it worked pretty good. The problem is we had one copy for the entire group. You couldn't share it. It was very limited, and it worked pretty good. If you're one person or one family, it worked great. And we did this for our retreat, and you could literally, we had it so you could dial in up at the retreat, not dial in, but connect so you can view this or make changes to it. But the database sat at the retreat in Miami Beach, Florida. That's a joke, but not, but some will get you. Some will get it, some won't. So I created that in 2022. So now I'm going to refer to a lot of the 1 Second Answer series. Here are the 3 books that Wim Fortune. Wim Fortune has been, I've known Wim Fortune for years. He spoke at several of my events, and these books are a must read for anyone in the preparedness industry. Okay. So I'm going to refer to them a little bit. One of them, it all takes place in like Black Mountain, North Carolina, which is where Montreat College is. I actually went to school at Montreat College. And so we're going to talk about what if they would have had an area study map and some of the things that they should have known if they would have done it for a community or even one family up there. So an area study overview is like these are 10 things you need to, maybe I need to move my photo there. Boom. Ooh, but I got bigger. Your area study overview, a general look at the region you live in. Towns, this is the big, and then we're going to focus in some towns, communities, population centers, and how they laid out. This is your town and maybe a couple towns next to you. Like we're talking like 1 mile, 5 miles, 10 miles max at this point. We want to look to see what is in that and get a good overview of what is in that area. Then we want to extend it out. So imagine you're in Black Mountain. You look at Black Mountain. You look at some of the little communities around there. You look at Montreat. Look at all the little suburbs of Black Mountain, which is a suburb's like 60 people in Black Mountain. And you kind of look at it, maybe look at it on a map, see where the resources are, what's going on, where are some areas of concern. You extend that out from Black Mountain. You go, well, there's Asheville. Asheville's not too far down the road, pretty major city. And then you look to the east and you go, well, there's Hickory, North Carolina. There's Old Fort, North Carolina. But will they really come to Black Mountain? Because that's kind of uphill for them. Would they really do that? You go, well, maybe they will, but you got to know that they might. And then travel access, like roads, rail lines. People always travel on rail lines and roads, rivers. The Shenandoah River goes right near there, and which flooded big time, if y'all remember, during the Great Flood. So the maps, the roads, the access, you got to know this. So right here on like phase 3 of this, people in Black Mountain should know that, okay, we got a major road coming right straight through our area, a major road. That road is called I-40. So what do we do about that? I-40 is going to be a foot traffic for some people if the cars aren't running. Okay. So then you look at the land, terrain, and weather. So up there, you could literally be in flat on a baseball field and look to the right, and there's a mountain that's 1,000 foot tall. And right behind Black Mountain, which is pretty flat, you wouldn't even know you're kind of in the foothills. But as soon as you go towards Montreat and you look up behind Montreat, and what's behind Montreat? That is Mount Mitchell, you know, 10 miles behind Montreat is Mount Mitchell, the highest mountain on this side of the east, the Mississippi River. And you're like, okay, it goes up the hill a little bit there. A lot of woods, a lot of springs, a lot of little creeks in that area. You just kind of do this study. What's the population like? Well, in Black Mountain, it's kind of an older population, especially Montreat, nothing but retired people. I mean, retired people and teachers. I don't know, but that's not the kind of community I want to be around. I love them, but you kind of got to think through this. And as you go through this with your community, what's the infrastructure? What's the power? Where's the water? Well, if y'all know in the book, the water is literally comes from Lake Hickory and one right there by Montreat, and Black Mountain is where Asheville gets most of their water. And what's the fuel station? What's the food distribution? So if you cut off I-40 on both sides of Black Mountain, you're screwed. Nothing's coming in or out. That's the two routes to really get into Black Mountain. There's an I-70 and there's there's not I-70, it's Highway 70 and I-40. And guess what? They run parallel. That's in and out of that area. These are things that you would know wherever your retreat is, wherever you live now. What's the local government there? These are some of the things you look through. There's some great books I'm going to show you here in a minute about these that you can learn a lot more. What's the law enforcement? What's the police? Do you know people in the police department? What's the economy? And so right there's a lot of pharmaceutical companies. You're like, what? Pharmaceutical? Yeah. That's one of their biggest economies right there in the Black Mountain area is pharmaceutical companies, and they have some timber companies. They got all kinds of but they don't have high tech. Okay. I mean, that's just nice to know. But pharmaceutical, that's kind of interesting. Matter of fact, right near there, they make a lot of not plasma, sugar water, whatever that stuff is. I can't even think about it. Saline. A lot of saline and Plant Marion and Baxter's and right. How do I know all this? You guys are like, how do you know all this stuff? But I went to Montreat. I'm from Spruce Pine, North Carolina, all right there within like 60 miles of each other is where that was my hood when I was growing up. But the threats in Black Mountain would be neighbors, and it would be people from Hickory and people from Asheville maybe coming through going to and from while all heck is breaking loose. They could be a problem. So some of the things you would like to know and chart on your maps, like who has solar panels? Are there solar panels on street lights or backup lights at a place? Who has chainsaws? Who has trucks? Where are there alleyways to get from one place to another place? Where are there springs? Where are there little ponds or creeks behind people's homes or in their yard? Where does companies store fuel? Maybe there's a trucking company down there that has diesel fuel. Who are the influencers in the area? Who's the mayor? Who's the sheriff? That's the person you want to know is the sheriff. All these information would be good to know. And because you may meet the sheriff once and you go, oh yeah, I know his daughter. I went to high school or something with his daughter. You might want to write that down. So when times get tough and you don't have information, you have that written down, you go, oh, sheriff, hey, I went to school with your daughter, Julie. And oh yeah, I remember you. So it could literally help you when things get tough. So you don't want to be a resident is someone that just lives in the area. A planner is taking this information and writing it down. So here's what the military they do. They write this stuff so they can have an advantage in the area. They literally have risk assessments that would tell them the risk of going to one area versus another area. Mobility, where they would move if something happens. Supplies, where would they stage supplies? Where would they hide supplies? Where would they keep supplies? And where can they view and see high points, trees, towers, so they can see what's coming down I-40 or what's coming down Highway 70? Do they want to block that off? And they would block that off definitely I-70 because it comes downtown Black Mountain, where I-40 they may want to just let that keep. And so the problem is between I-40 and I-70, a little river there, but in control. How do you keep control? Who's in control? Once you find the person, the sheriff or the mayor, or whoever you want in control, how do you keep them in control? Because then, I mean, if it's a pro person you like, you want to make sure they stay in control. So these are things that you want to plan out for your retreat, even your little community. So your study, Matt, it's not good to store this on Google Docs. No, I felt bad putting it on Google Earth. You should not put it on Facebook. You shouldn't have a Facebook group. I don't trust Facebook as far as I can pick up Facebook and throw them. You should not expose your neighbors. It's not cool to write things about your neighbors and then put it online where databases are leaked and hacked, and it's not good to have that information out there. That you shouldn't do that. You should store these things so you and people around you have access to it. So operational security, I know you guys know this, is you just don't want the wrong eyes to see this information. This can be life-saving information for you and people within your community. So key takeaways: better intelligence leads to better decisions. Makes a lot of sense. Understand the risk before you prepare, meaning why would you prepare for water and have all of these water drums to store water when you got 5 springs, a pool, a pond, and a creek all on your property? Well, so it would help you prepare better. So preparedness starts with you, though. You got to be the key in driving this within your group or with your family. Okay, this isn't just about personal preps and having this in a binder on a shelf. It's about gathering information with others so it builds your tribe. Your family will have better decision making and be ready for things that could come down the line. And that's why I've never been a fan of writing a lot of this stuff down on paper. When you write it on a notebook paper and you keep it in a notebook, which I'm not throwing that out the window. I've just found a better way to do it. I like to visually see it. When things change, I don't want to erase or use different crayons to change it. That's why I literally went digital. There's some good books. The great book of where it kind of all started was the FM 3436. It doesn't have a lot in there about area study, but it has the basic details. And then Mike Shelby wrote a book called the Area Intelligence Handbook. And I just read that he's coming out with a brand new book tomorrow. Then Bob has one about the Green Berets Area Study Workbook. There are probably more out there. These are the 3. I have all 3 of these printed. I'm not military, so a lot of this stuff didn't really apply to me, but the concepts did. I recommend all of them books. So let me show you this. This is a little map that I made. So these are the demographics for people. So this is your little hood here. And you live here with a house with a big red button here. That's where you live. Isn't it nice if you had this stuff? You know that there's a fireman, there's a doctor over here, where your friends are. There's a clergy member or pastor over here, police station is, farmer over here, former military here, ham radio across the street. Having this stuff written down could be helpful, not even just through stressful times, but during good times. Well, there's a farmer down the street. Maybe I can go ask him what's going on with my tomato plants, Or so this is kind of you're going to visually see this stuff, and that's the way I like it. Now that is people. Look, there's an automobile mechanic there. Looks like Bob the Builder right there. Oh, we have a sex offender over there. That would be nice to know beforehand, right? Oh, look right here. Come on. The guy with the L, I mean, he's a loser. He's just a loser. I didn't know. I just wanted to put some back. There's a nurse beside the loser, and I have a friend, over there too, and the clergy. Maybe the the pastor can talk to the loser there. You ever seen that? Anyway, I thought it was funny. I like to have fun with this stuff. Now let's look at some resources. We see the 4-wheel drive trucks. We see where gas. We see where people have maybe solar or power. We see where some water sources are, places where there's some chickens and cows and natural gas, some LP gas. Being able to see this on the map, you're like, oh, and it's not stressful. We write this stuff down, we keep it, and now we know and keep it up to date. It's easier to kind of, there's some food there, maybe a restaurant or something. So gas back here, we know my neighbor has maybe a farm tractor. He has a little gas tank thing back there. This is just kind of imagine you putting down what is going on in your neighborhood. So let me tell you, I'm going to show you real quick what I created for my group. I never meant to release this to the world. Never meant to release it. But my group, we decided, wow, this is too powerful to keep to ourselves. I will say this. Wait, let's go back to the demo. Now I've got to demo this, and I'm not even set up to do this right now. So give me 1 second, and we're going to demo this, and this is going to be mind altering right here. Okay. Kind of. So I got it ready. I'm bringing it up. As we do this, before I get into this, I do want to share this one other piece here, right here. I'm going to show you the website because I want you to see some key things about this software that I'm going to show you. It's mind-blowing, okay? So share screen. I want to share a window, and I want to do this. Here's some software I created. First of all, your area, your intel, your control. So this tells you, this is a sample screenshot of everything that is going on. But what I want to focus on are 3 things here. Live intel that we bring in comes from the internet. Okay. That means you have to be connected to the internet to see this stuff. And I'm going to show you a lot of this stuff from police stations to churches, cell phone towers, flood zones, webcams, all this stuff. But a couple things is that we have a pace planner built into the software. Unbelievable. You can do your whole pace plan. And we'll go through that as primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency. Every, for every single thing, you can come up with your own. We have 10, I think, built in: rally points, communications, medical. But also, I want you to see this. This is what I want you to see. This is a security audit that I had done on this software. Your data stays on your computer, period. Even though you're gathering intel from the internet, when you put information into this software, into this app, it never, ever goes to the internet. It stays on your computer. What does that mean? When all lights go out, you turn your computer on, that data is still there. It also means that the data you put on your computer, it's never going to go out to the internet. It's secure on your computer. It works on any computer. It works on any tablet. It works on any browser that's Chromium based, which is Chrome, which is Brave. It works on any of them. And so you can put it on, we've tried it on 8 different Linux versions. We've tried it on Raspberry Pis. We've tried it on Macs, any computer. It's browser based, okay? But it says your data is secure. So they did an assessment on the data. and what is going on with the data. And literally you can kind of read through here and see what it says, but it all stays on your computer. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that it's and the best way to try this out is literally put your data in, unplug it, or turn the Wi-Fi off, and you'll go, wow, all this still it works here. Absolutely. So so let's get to the app now. If we where is it? Here we go. I'm gonna do one thing real quick. I'm gonna put my PIN number in here. Sorry. I don't know why, because it's my demo pin. So I'm going to bring it back up now. I'm going to add it to the screen. Okay, here is the demo. First of all, it says backup. You need to back up. This is your data. Does it automatically save it? Yes. But I'm talking about backing up on a thumb drive or something like that, okay? So I'm going to say, I'm going to not back up now. I'm going to say, remind me later, okay? So this is the map right here. You can see it's interactive, and I'm going to go through a lot of things on this map real quickly just to show you guys. Here's all the information that we're going to be putting in is over here. We're going to put in, so let me do one adjustment here, make this kind of fit the screen there. And so I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to go to one of my home views. I already have a home view here, and I'm going to go to Garvin's house. I'm going to click here, and it's going to take me over here. And so where's Garvin's house? Well, let us fill in. We want to see all the information I've already put in here. And you can kind of see where I'm going here. Okay. So there's Garvin's house. It went straight to my house. So you can save different areas, your work area, your home area, your retreat area. And when you do that, you just go to a different place, and you can, go to different, it will just take you and zoom there. So we're going to go to Garvin's house, and this is my hood. I made this place up. Okay. I didn't make it up, but it's it's north of Charlotte, and here's my place. And I can pull up different maps. I can do the satellite view and zoom in there. Look at that house. Isn't that sweet? It's not really mine. I can then change it to a hybrid. I can then change it to a topo map. I can do it to a dark map. Then I can do it to street light map. And you're like, okay, what is that? Well, you kind of got to zoom out to see. Y'all seen that before, how much lighting pollution's around. And then a terrain map. So we're going to go to the hybrid map right now. I'm going to zoom back into my house. Again, all this can be offline. Visually see the information. I can mark every one of these houses, everything. So let's say my friend right over here, Doug, and we both have, and I'm going to show you some of the, well, I'm not going to do that yet. So let's say that, let me find this other house here. Let me find another house here, and let's mark it right here. So I'm going to mark this house. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to say edit. Well, this is John's house. Okay. John Smith. I'm going to hit save. For the meantime, I'm going to delete this real quick. Then I'm going to add some data on John. So I'm going to add data on John. We'll go down here to demographics. We'll put man's first name and last name. We'll go down here. Hang on. We'll do John Smith. I can put a photo if I want to of him. I can put some files there. I can put other information. So let's just save this, and let's add another piece. Let's say he is a ham radio. Whoops. Nope. He's not an antenna. So let's go back to demographics here. Then is there not like a call sign or something here? You can every one of these you can add. There we go. Ham radio operator. And so I'm going to put his call sign here is WTY or E. I'm making this up. I can do his frequency, whatever his notes, and I can hit save. And so now I got some information points here on John. There's John's house. Let's go back to the satellite. Let's go to the hybrid map here. So I added John right there. I know he's a ham radio operator. I can click right here and see the information I have on John. But I want to talk to Doug because Doug's over here and he's a ham radio guy. So I can mark anything I want before I get to the demonstration. So you see all these, you can do threats, floods, crime, civil unrest, infrastructure. You can do water, cell towers, power plants, bridges, all these security, fire stations. All these you can have 100% control. Meaning, if you don't like what we have predetermined here, you can literally click settings. Wait a second. You can literally click right here and manage them and go threats. Okay, I'll go with threats, but all these things below, I want to name this something different. I don't want this temp. I want this, bad, people. You can name it whatever you want. So and then you can rename, you can change the color and how many fields are under bad people. There's real bad people and not so bad people. It has full control over this entire menu right here. You can add, delete, connect them together. It's all edible. Okay. So you can mark bridges, you can mark rock dumps, and let me just show you to another one. Let me go to home view. Okay, here is another home view. So right here is Karen Green lives there with the M, Green. There's her call sign. Over here, who lives here? Jane. Who lives here? James Brown. Looks like Paul Bunyan. What's this here? Oh, I put that photo there. That's a cell phone tower right there. That's kind of cool. What's this over here? There's sand. Oh, there's a sand trap. Sand could be helpful. There's a water source. There, and so you can mark. There's Chuck Jones, all his information right there. You can view it. You can, go, what's this over here? Fire station. So you can mark all this stuff. Then if you don't want people, you just want it get, you can literally delete some of the information if you don't want to see it all. So let us go back to my other home. I have many homes. How are we doing here? Okay. So I want to talk to Doug. I'm going to use a tool over here. First of all, I want to see my, it moved me a little bit. Okay. Oh, it moved the map view. Okay. Nope. I want to go back to, okay. Scoot in here. I'm going to tap right here and it will tell me the elevation, the address, the latitude, longitude, military, the sun up, sun down, UTC time, all that information. Then I can click over here and do the same for Doug's house, kind of get a general. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to add a data point. Sorry. So let's just click on that. I'll delete that. I'll show you how easy it is to delete. We delete it. I'm going to click on this right here. And his elevation is 666. That's kind of weird. I don't like that number. And all his information. Then I'm going to click. We won't do the time zones. We'll get rid of that. So we're going to do line of sight. So I'm going to click here at Doug's house. And I'm going to drag a line to my house. This is going to show you the line of sight, the terrain between our houses. This is awesome for ham radio communications. So you can see we got some major problems with hills between the two of us. This tool works pretty cool because I can literally put up a 50-foot antenna on my property. And all he has to do, could just move a little bit over this way with his antenna. It's still not going to help. We still got some major terrain between us. Maybe if he put a 100-foot antenna, or let's do 50-foot antenna at his house, we still got a little terrain, might be able to make it. But you can see how you can, because you have trees, they have trees, you can find out what the terrain is between the two of you. You can see it's 1.99 miles. That's just one of the tools. Let's look at another tool. The weather. Yeah, okay. What time is it? I don't want to spend too much time on the weather, but you can look at rain. Where's it raining? There's the rain. Clouds. Again, you do have to be connected to internet to this. Let's look at alerts. Is there any alerts? There are places that have alerts right now. You can click on it and see what they alert. If they're near you, that you see what it was. So next is just a measuring tool. We'll do a little bit there. We kind of already just did that, but what's the distance from here to here? You know, it tells you the tool. You can do an area of an. So let's do what's the population around in this area right here. Let's look at the Census Bureau. What the estimated population? 2,500 people in that area right there. Pretty sweet. What if a nuclear bomb hit this town over here, Salisbury? Let's pick a nuclear bomb called the Little Boy. Okay, and it's going to hit right downtown Salisbury. What does that mean for me? Well, the wind we're going to say is around 20. We'll do 25 miles an hour. The wind's from the southwest, and there's what it looks like. There is the detonation zone and the plume from the. That's what it's going to look like. Now, if you want to throw a bigger bomb, don't be throwing big bombs at me, okay? Because that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt my. Okay, we're still safe. Some of these bigger bombs. Let's go down here to this one. Oh gosh, are you kidding me? That's a serious bomb. So, but unless you just kind of fun there, we'll get rid of the nuclear bomb. PurpleNet sites. You see all the P's? They're all over the United States. If you want to join a PurpleNet group, you just click that. Facilities. You want to see jails near? Hang on. You want to see jails? There's all the prisons. We'll scoot back in. You want to see the hospitals? There's the major tier 1 hospitals. Military bases. Some down here, Fort Bragg area. Nuclear power plants and your 60-mile radius of each one. Okay. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Now we're going to get some serious. This is online. That's all offline right there. Here's some online stuff right here. So let's zoom in. We still got a few people. You can pull this up and go. Now you got to play. This data is there. Just play with it. Sometimes it takes a while for it to come in. We're going to do police stations. It's loading in police stations. We got to zoom out. There's a police station. It shows 3 on this map right here. Here's a police station right there. Okay, it shows on this area, there's 3 police stations. Must be somewhere out here. There's a lot more. So you can see the data comes in. Sometimes you have to zoom in, some out. Sometimes the data doesn't even work because they're not streaming. How about fire stations? There's the fire stations. Right, there's one. Here's one. Okay. Hospitals, power substations. It's going to take a minute. You're like, power substations? Yeah. See these substations right here? Yep. Solar farm. Ooh, see? That's nice to know. Water treatment, dams, hardware stores, grocery stores, gun stores, churches, schools, bridges. It might be too many bridges to bring up right here. A lot of bridges. What happens with bridges? Choke points, right? Campgrounds, waterworks, fire hydrants, pharmaceuticals, libraries, gas stations, propane, sheriff offices, lighthouses. Yeah, okay. Cell phone, hiking trails. That would be good to know if you're having to bug out and go somewhere. Flock cameras. What? Yes. And so let's this I think we just got this working not too long ago, but there's a see the flock cameras. That's cameras that record your license tag. Weather alerts, Amber alerts, FBI most wanted people in your area, protests, floods, Superfund sites. That's like contaminated. FEMA shelters, AM, FM broadcast stations. Let's look here. See if it brings any in. It's searching. Might be too much information. There we go. Here's one right here. That's W whatever that is. High Point. Okay. Ham repeaters, GMRS repeaters, SDR, mesh networks, HF, webcams, flights. Okay, everybody always wants to see flights. Let's see flights in the air. There's some flights right there. Tells you all the information that you need to know, the altitude, the speed. That's 17,000 feet, traveling at 727 knots. This one is 20,000 feet. Okay, military flights. Let's click on that one. There's one right there. What is that one? That I don't even know what kind of plane that is, but there it is. Then I know that this is cool. I know helicopters. Are there any helicopters in there? Here's a helicopter right here. So there's two on the map. Earthquakes, weather stations. So the weather station. Let's just view one of the weather stations. You're here. You want to hit the weather station. Where I just saw that. Let's click it on. Okay, here's one right here. Let's click on this. Okay, let's check this out. Y'all might not be able to hear this, but it's literally playing the sound coming from that weather station. Let's get rid of the weather stations. Radiation monitors, power lines. Here's all the major power lines in the United States. It's going to come. Look at that. Boom. Gas line, pipelines, oil lines, railroad, bridges, active fires. Is there any active fires in North Carolina? Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's some South Carolina here. So anyway, that's live information that only works when you're on the internet. You can put that. I see someone ask about on an external thumb drive. Yes. Will it work from a thumb drive? Yes. As long as your browser knows where the file is. Yes. So then let's go over here. That's all good. You can mark everything. You can save the images. You can save all that stuff. We have OSINT tools. And I'm going to finish here in the next, give me 5 more minutes, guys. OSINT tools. This is how you do research. This is going to scare and you're going to hate me on a lot of this stuff, guys. But I have my privacy and security company. We use these tools to find people. We find people every day, all the time that are people are looking for. You can search different databases for usernames, for email addresses. You can, if you want to search like social media site networks, Facebook, and you want to search, how do you want to search? You want to search by email address, photo. I mean, guys, this is, you can search metadata and for photos. You can search the dark web here. So this is how, I'm not going to get into this. This is blowing people away. First time I've really shared some of the tools my company uses. It's in the software. Then there's a notebook. This notebook, you can record everything. It has a contact manager. So we have Rick in here. All the information on Rick. This is stored on your hard drive now. Officials in your community. You're like, okay, I want to, let me add, the mayor of the city and his information. You can do local, state, federal, emergency phone numbers, poison control, medical, legal, insurance, community, all these different things. You can add and add. You can print these out. All this stuff is printable as well. And notes. You can have notes. You can have like books in here. You can have images in here. You can create new notes. You can file them. There's a whole filing system here as well. So big, just imagine a notebook that is got Word, everything you need in the notebook. Field notes is where you can draw on the map. Okay. Field notes. You could say, I want to do a route from, and let me start, and I want to do a route, and we're going to draw this. We're going to go to Doug's house. We're going to go here. Then we're going to go here. No, this isn't the route one. Sorry. This is the route one. Is this the route one? Nope. Okay, I've lost my mind here. Oh, I'm sorry. The route one's over here over here on this side, right here. Nope. The route is somewhere. Right here's the route. Sorry. So I'm going to start here. We're going to go here. Then we're going to go here. Then we're going to go here, go up to here. Then we're going to come down to here. So it puts your whole map, shows you the terrain. It's going to take you 1 hour and 22 minutes to walk it. Okay. The distance is a total of 3.37 miles. You can get the coordination points for every single one, even has the military coordination points. Everything you need elevation, everything by that. Okay. That was where that was. Fill notes, you can go in here and start drawing, and you can say, hey, we need to put that, right here is one of our caches right here. We need to remember how to get there. That's where we have some supplies, and it will stay on that. You can assign that to any of these things up here as well. So I'm going to stop drawing. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize this because we're going to go to the next thing. Then we got the home view. So right here is a home view. I want to go to a home view here. I want to go to Prepper Camp because we're going to mark up Prepper Camp. There's Prepper Camp. We can mark that. I can then save this area right here and share it with other people. I can save any of these areas and share it with other people. So your whole group can now share the same exact map. So that's the home views. So let's keep going here. We have a pace plan. Told you we have the whole dashboard's right here. As you fill out your pace plan, it spells pace. Really neat. You can click here and you can see all the action, primary, alternative, contingency, emergency, whatever plans you put in there. Emergency is grandma's house, farms, okay? Contingency is the rest stop on I-55. Alternative is, the library parking garage. Primary is the park, so you can literally build your entire pace plan for your group in here. And you can also, your entire group can share this information. You can share this across multiple people and give them access to it. Now, if there's no internet, they can still download it and have it on their computer. I have a resource library where it has like voting records and all this kind of stuff, partners, discounts, news right there. Then we have news feeds. You're like, why do we need news feeds? Well, I'm going to show you. This is news feeds that I pick. If you don't like them, tough. I pick, Fox News, AP, BBC World, whatever, daily. So anyway, and you can get news feeds. But let me just show you. There's a small town, 10 miles from me, and it's called Waxhaw. Very small. And you're like, well, what kind of news will Waxhaw, North Carolina have? Well, let's do a search. You're like, wait a second, 4 days ago, 22 days ago, 1 month ago. So it has news. Waxhaw police officer, so you can go here and get all the news for your community by just typing it in right there. Otherwise, it's going to just bring up news feeds, and you can type and search anywhere the news. It just helps you, do some news search. Okay. Control center. So we have down here, we have right up here, we have all the things that are released. You can see the last released. Here's all the things that were done on the last release. So all the time we release it because we're updating, making this better. You can see back to March 12th. Quick start guide kind of tells you some things, quick start. Then it has a whole somewhat not detailed manual. We're working on that right here of all the different stuff. Okay. There's your documentation. Then we have settings. I'm going to show you a few things in settings. You can make it light mode or dark mode. What default map do you want? I want street map, satellite, hybrid, whatever map you want. Shows your status. Status is important because when you start saving data and maps, like you can save an entire map for offline use. Everything I've showed you can be saved for offline, except the real-time feeds coming in from the internet. So you can save that information, and it will show you like how much space you're taking, all that kind of stuff. Okay. How many sites you have, and how many megabytes. Local storage. I'm using 34 megs. That's it. On my group one, we're gigs of information. We're saving big slots of maps. The whole terrain and the topo map and all that stuff. So then we have a panic button. I'm coming to that in just a second. Okay. Lifetime access, the version that's what is check for updates. Offline maps. This is where you save your offline maps. You select the area you want to save and you save the offline maps. Your backup reminders, you set it and it will remind you every 6 hours. Tell me to back up. Full backup. You can back this up to a thumb drive, external drive, wherever you want to back it up to. and so that you always have a copy of the backup. Or if you want to own another computer, be a good way to take it to another computer. Shared sites. What do I want to share? I can hit right here and share the prepper camp. What a radius do I want around the prepper camp area? You guys saw when I went there. I just want 5 miles, and it's going to save everything around the 5 miles that I've marked, and I can save it and then send it to other people. You can send support a message right here, your data manager. So if you have like, okay, I have some dots out there that I put, some of them I just want to delete. You can see all your data points right here and manage them from there. And then you can change your PIN. So there's an activation code, and then there's a PIN. PIN is so your family or other people, they get on your computer, they just can't get to your software. It's you have the PIN, and it's a 6-number PIN. You put what you want in there. So let me do this one quick real thing. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to add it back, but I'm going to add it back different this time. I'm going to do, remove. Let me stop sharing. I'm going to reshare it. I'm going to add the stage. Wait. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share my screen again. And you're like, why is he doing this? And I'm going to show you why. I'm going to share the audio. Okay, back at the same screen here, okay? So I'm going to go back up here, and there's a panic button for everyone. If everything just things are tough, you're down, things are just looking bad, I have a panic button, and it helps everyone. And I would stress, don't use this panic button often. Oh, also, by the way, you can clear all the data right here and just start over. And we've all done that just for fun. We're putting in things, but here's the panic button. I just want to make sure everyone sees this. Don't share this, because this is literally one of the most top secret things that we're doing in this software. So I'm clicking on it. Here goes. Just know, Rick Ashley is never going to give you up or let you down. So no matter how difficult it is, it's going to be okay. We're no strangers to love. I'm going to stand down. We don't need any more. So that is my Rick Ashley panic. So with that, you guys hit me in some questions here. I'm going to go back to the main screen. I've shared most of this. You can do searches up here on your areas. Like you can go, where does what Jane was one person. Where does Jane live? Oh, there she is. So this just helps you do searches better up here. You can search all or search individual categories. You can have my sites. You can have the imported sites. Like you imported Prepper Camp. It would be here. It won't be mixed unless you put it here. It would be mixed. But my sites, imported sites, all sites. You can also search for addresses up here. So yeah. What questions do you guys have? Please, I'll see if I can see any. YouTube has been okay. Chicago data. Do we get this data from data brokers? No. This is there are people that put together this information, and some of it is our API. Some of it I just connect to their database. Some of it is installed in the software, so you can have it offline as well. But yeah, different places I've been getting this information from. There's that community. Remember when I showed you? Where's Paul Bunyan? There he is, James Brown. I feel good. And there's the antenna. There's no antenna there. But let's say that, okay, let's see. Let's go. The antenna is really right here. Do you see that? I moved it because it wasn't exactly. Maybe it's right here. Oh, Paul, yeah, his house is, well, is that right? Yeah, that's the house right there. Sorry. So you can move these things around and it remembers it. Pin moved and it saves it stuff. So I've saved all that type of information from my on an external hard drive and thumb drive. Yes. I mean, sure, great. You can do this and save it, back it up on a thumb drive. You can put it on a tablet. This works on the phone too, by the way. But, big but, it's literally, it's not, the phone screen is just not large enough. And I can't, I mean, I don't want to compromise and the time actually to make this phone accessible. I mean, just doing it on a laptop. Your laptop's cheaper than a phone. So instead of putting it on your phone, buy some small, cheap laptops. um, but any questions you guys have, that would be, I will answer at this point. I think I've covered most everything. There's all kinds of Easter eggs in here as well. That I will share only to those that. So this, what is this? I mean, how much is this? Let's get into that. And why am I selling it? Well, I didn't mean to sell it. I promise. I didn't mean to sell it. I did this for myself. But right now, I have a coupon, says demo 150. I will make sure that works. If it doesn't work, I'm pretty sure it's working. And you get $50 off. This is the cheapest price you'll ever see, because if you notice in my next screen, I'm hiring affiliates to sell this somewhere here, and they're going to sell it for $160. Okay. They're going to have a $40 coupon. And I'm going to stop selling this personally. I'm going to do webinars. I'm going to do one more webinar for one more group, maybe. And then it's going to be all affiliates. I've already signed up like 6 affiliates. I signed up a huge one today. And they're going to sell this and promote this for me, and they'll make $40 every time they sell it. I'm offering it to you guys for $150. You can go right now to Area Study Map and purchase it. It's yours. It's a one-time purchase. It's lifetime. Try me out. Disconnect the internet and see if it still works. And I'm going to show you one last thing. This is key. I'm going to show you one last thing. Let me go back to this, the help information does have this information. So let me remove this. Let me add this to the stage. I want to show you in your Chromium browser, meaning like Chrome, which I hate Chrome. Oh, my privacy course. Oh, I hate it. Or Brave. Love Brave. You take your little mouse and you go up here. And you see this little button here? It says Open in App. What this does, it saves it to your desktop. Then you can literally open it. It's an app on your computer now at this point. It literally puts it on your computer as an app, and then you can open it from the app. You don't even have to open the browser. But just being transparent, when you open it from the app, it's literally open it within the browser. So because it's a browser-based software. So that's how you get it right there to stay on your little computer. And it's always there. You can open it up from the browser or the app. So I'm going to click this in real time. We'll see what happens. Okay. Let me show you what happened, because it removed that. Now I've got to open a new window because it opened it in a brand new window. Well, I need to remove that. Okay. Now I got to find that particular app window right here. Okay. So now, well, you really can't tell, but it's in a browser window. So this is the app. There's no difference. So it's called a web progressive app, or progressive web. Yeah, that's it. You can look it up, and you can learn what's a progressive web app. That's it. Progressive web app. That's what this is. You can save this to your phone, just like I just showed you as well. And it works on your phone. It's going to take some memory up on your phone. And I don't hide this menu here. So your phone is going to be covered by this menu. If you're walking around with it, we are adding some things. Last little thing, we're adding some apps, some features to go with this that you use on your phone to take photos of your neighbor's rock piles, their ponds, the tower, and it's integrated right into this. And you can do that. We haven't added them features yet. That's probably version 3, where the web app features will be connected to this. Again, we're growing this, and I will tell you this. Um, I've had Rangers, Army Rangers. I've had one guy from the most special ops of all groups. They're the baddest of the bad when it comes to military. And I'll go. A Green Beret has this and been playing with this, and his group has implemented this. If you've been to prepper camp, you may know who I'm talking about. May not. He hadn't been the last couple of years, but him and his wife. He's Green Beret. His wife was a doctor, and they just think this is amazing. The only problem we've ever had is someone had their Brave browser locked down and it wasn't keeping the activation code. That's the only technical issue we've had, because I've been so concerned about supporting this app. But that's the only technical issue we've had at all. So I'm pretty amazed at that. I'm pretty happy about that. And I've tested this with like 30 people for almost 60 days before I release this to the public. So any question? Let me go and look, see if there's any questions here. Nope, no questions. Okay, great. That's fine. Hey guys, it is what it is. It's the most amazing thing I've ever created. I never knew I was going to get into software business. I never knew I was going to sell this. But there's nothing out there like this, bar none. Absolutely. It's the first to market when it comes to area study map. And we're going to keep it the best. And it's probably going to be the cheapest. 150, 160 is the price. That is, I mean, unbelievable. And I don't apologize for that, because we got a lot of time and hours into this. And it's awesome. Hey guys, I will say, if you got any questions, hit the website. There's a way to contact me on the website. Ask away. But yeah, I created this for me, and I'm literally allowing you to use it for $150. You know, it's awesome. I'll say this: we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have this and are running this, and we've had one technical issue. Other issues, but that was more of, they didn't know how to save it to their desktop. They didn't read the information, kind of thing. You know what I mean? They didn't. I'm like, there's some documentation down there. Like, oh, sorry. The only technical issue, this guy, it was resetting his. You get a activation code, and it was resetting it every time. And after you use the activation code so many times, it locks. Because we don't want you to share that with 50 people. And so that was and we had to figure out what was going on with him, and we helped him figure it out. So with that, guys, thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you guys. Like I said, we're doing one more demo, and I'm doing it mostly for a group. I'm not even sure if I'm inviting, because it's an affiliate, and it's a big affiliate, and he thinks he'll sell 200 to 300 copies in one demo, and I probably won't invite everyone. So this may be my last demo on this. It still will be on YouTube if you want to go watch this. This code will expire probably soon, because I can't rightfully sell it at 150, and my affiliates sell it for 160. So my affiliates, if you want to be an affiliate, I'll tell you the program. You'll be able to give people a $40 off coupon so they can buy it for 160, and you make $40. And so then there's $120 that comes to us. Well, we got server fees, we've got the development fees. I could sell 100,000 of these and make a good few $1,000s. Okay. I'm just saying there's some profit in this, but it's not, trust me, it's not what you think. But I think this is important to get out. So anyway, thank you guys for your time. Give me an email, send me an email if you got questions. And hey, thanks again. We'll talk to you next time I'm live. Take care. Bye-bye.